Attention true crime community. True crime community has been infiltrated.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost.
Is compromised.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
True crime community has been infiltrated.
Yes, Mr. Yes, Mr. Yes.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet next to me. I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
You're working a fucking gap, and you're 45!
I do not want any spies or snitches stuck to my chest.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer. What you say, yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
So that's his rules, and you can't stick with them. Whatever. Those rules aren't real. You can't stick with them!
Get ready for the shit show. Smoke them if you got them. Make sure you have your cigarettes. Make sure you have your drinks. Make sure you have all your stuff ready because it's going to be a hell of a day today. Understand me when I say people are fucking sick of this.
I need you again, so stick around. So stick around.
She told her subs and everybody to get ready for the shit show that was going to be put on today. She was well aware of it before it happened. She told you to get your cigarettes, your snacks, and your drinks.
So stick around.
Say that I wasn't including Queen B, okay? I've said that on every single live. I'm not talking about Queen B. I'm not talking about Queen B. Guess what? I was fucking talking about Queen B.
Leave the world around us. They don't need to know. Come find me where the sun sets and say you'll never let me go. You're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide away now. Don't let go. Know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. You'll always be my broken love. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love.
Queen B, great information on Queen B. We're done with Queen B. Queen B's in my crosshairs. There's Queen B's channel. Queen B thinks she can. But Queen B is reformed. I bet you Queen B gets tricked. Queen B. Fake
PI trash bag bitch is so obsessed with me.
You'll always be my broken love. They don't know how we love when we're letting close. With you, I know I belong. Without all eyes on us, you're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide away now. Don't let go. Know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love.
Queen B would think she could.
Anybody at Queen B show earlier.
We talked about Queen B and stuff. I didn't listen to Queen B's.
I heard Queen B, we got bailing on Salty for Queen B, and some people not the Queen B. I don't understand why anybody's afraid of her.
About Queen B over here on Queen B.
Queen B, show her face, show her face, show her face.
That's real rich coming from somebody who wears pantyhose on his face every live.
You'll always be my broken love.
Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing today? Everybody in a good mood today on this fine Tuesday? On this fine Tuesday of a day? I was a little burnt out yesterday. I had to take a little bit of time. So I wasn't on here yesterday. We do got a lot to talk about. So today we're going to talk about the Kansas City 3, the guys, the 3 that were found deceased and what's going on with them. There's also been another guy that came forward, a friend number 5. He came forward and we did find out. I know that we were live when Good Egg came up and told us that Jordan Willis was not the guy that lived there. However, he was the guy that lived there. His name is on the news, and the attorney came out and spoke for him. So we did find out that it was him living there. So I wanted to make sure we did get that corrected. He actually moved out, beat feet, and hired an attorney. The attorney that he hired is actually one of the best criminal attorneys that you could find, to be honest with you. He is one of the best ones.
available to cover this kind of holy smokes, babe. Wow. Let me see here. I know I just seen Pecan talking about it, but where? I gotta find where it's at. Ellie, if you want to come up and drop that link in the back, you can. If you don't want to pop up, that's fine. Or if you don't have time, but I was going to have you drop that link in the back to see if I could use it. I have the one from my Gmail, but it's like not letting me click on from, like it lets me click on stuff, you know what I mean? But the sites are not, it's not working. So hold on. Let's see here. Maybe now that it's changed, it'll work better. Okay. So anyhow, it's basically just like a little guide of going over this, you know, like one of the girls made it, and then she did actually Chronicles did. She did an amazing job on it too. It's really, really good. She did a good job doing a timeline of things, you know, so that it's all together. And then there's also some other stuff we'll talk about afterwards. But of course, we'll do an open panel. So anybody that wants to come up is welcome to come up. Anybody that wants to chat is welcome to come up and chit chat. Or, you know, if you got any input. If you know something that I don't, please let me know or come up and fill me in. If I have misinformation, come up and let me know. Or if you feel like it's misinformation. Okay, so let's pull this up real quick. I'll pop this up first. And we will pull this up here. So some of it I'll probably block out, like their Facebook links and whatnot. Can you guys see that okay? Here, let me see if I can make it bigger. Nope, won't even let me touch anything on it. So, okay, well, that's okay. I mean, at least we, you know, at least we can see it. You guys can still see it. Everybody can see it. Okay. You guys can see that okay? Oh, Firefly, you little sweetheart, you're going to make me cry. Dang, girl. Dang. That's awesome. That was really sweet of you, Firefly. Thank you so much. Miss Patty, it's good to see you in here, love. I hope you're doing better. I've been missing you. So, okay, so here says the KC3 case here. 3 men found deceased in the backyard of the residence with no apparent sign of foul play in Missouri after a football game. They grew up together and graduated from Park Hill High School. They were friends most of their lives. Now, see, that's the thing that gets me. These guys have been friends for a really long time. And there was one video that I seen where one of the wives had taken it and put it up. It was actually all of the same guys watching the football game together last February. And they were all sitting together. And it just was like really sad to see that, you know? Okay, let's see here. So we have David Harrington. He was one of the guys that was found deceased. He went by Dave. His car was parked outside at Jordan's house, and he lived less than a mile from the house he was at. This is his mom video of her interview. We watched it. I'm pretty sure we all seen it. There's a GoFundMe as well. If you guys want me to, I can't click on the links. They won't. Oh, I guess they do work. When you do this, here's a fundraiser. Okay, here's the fundraiser. Let's see if we can click this open. So here's David Harrington. Let's Let's see. We'll just accept all the little cookies there. Okay. So David Thomas Harrington Memorial Fund. Here it is. We'll try to share it out too. And put it in the chat, or I'll put the links in the, yeah, that is hell. I'll put the links in the description part. So if you guys want to see them, you know what I mean? So that they're there if anybody wants to go to them. So Ricky Johnson was the other guy that was found there as well. He's 36, father of 3 young daughters. That broke my heart. You know, that, I mean, you can tell he was a family man going through this. You can see his daughters love him so much, so much. And it's really sad, man. This is really sad. His girls, you can tell in the pictures that he was a really good daddy, and he loved his girls, and his girls loved him. And you know, to have their dad go to a football game and never come home is devastating. Absolutely devastating. So anyhow, we're going to watch this video clip here that goes with it, where the lawyer speaks. I want you guys to hear this. Wow. So he's moved out that fast, hired an attorney, one of the absolute best attorneys that you can get for a criminal case. Keep that in mind. Right. And I understand he might have went to sleep, and he very well might not have seen them leave. He might have went to sleep. However, you're telling me that for 2 days, you didn't realize they were in your backyard. You didn't realize that their cars were parked out front. You didn't realize that his wife was banging on your door trying to get in. She actually had to break in the house. You still didn't say anything. You still didn't wake up to any of that. I find that really hard to believe. Yeah. So what do y'all think? Foul play? Do you think it's murder? Do you think something happened? What are y'all thinking? Because I keep bouncing back and forth. And at first I'm like, what if they did some drugs, or what if they was really, really drunk and they, you know, thought they were doing like a line of cocaine or something, and they did a line of fentanyl, or somebody, you know, gave them something at the bar, or, you know, like that. But see, the thing of it is, fentanyl kicks in fast. It's like a fast acting drug. It's not something that's going to take a long time to kick in. So if they got it at the bar and they drove home and they were there, well, which we don't know how long they were out there, but I definitely feel like if they did ingest something, they ingested it at that house. And they had to have went outside to either cool off, to get air, or they walked outside to smoke a cigarette or a joint. Something, there's something going on. So, to me, I feel like there's definitely something going on. So, let me go find this other one here. So here they do the timeline of the timeline here, but this says Yeah, Chiefs fans' death. Homeowner had no idea that his fur in the yard, the attorney says. Now, the attorney's been on this fucking, excuse my language, because, that's really offensive to some people. I'm really sorry, but if it's that offensive to you, this may not be the stream for you to come and watch. But I did hear we're doing nicknames, so if you hear me speaking on somebody's nickname and you don't know who it is, feel free to ask and I'll let you know.
Foremost, your client, Jordan Willis, is he free and clear tonight, or is he still facing some kind of potential criminal exposure?
There was never any criminal charges. There is no case. The police have stated that this is not a homicide investigation and they do not suspect foul play.
So he could do an interview. You'd be fine with him doing a TV interview because you now feel confident he has no concerns ahead of him.
He could do an interview if he chose to. As I advised him, as I advise all my clients, that he shouldn't say anything at this time until the investigation has been concluded.
I'm so curious about what could have possibly happened, as are so many people watching right now, as I'm sure you are, and potentially even. Do you know from speaking to your client, were there drugs involved with the party, the football watching party that night?
There are some things that I'm not going to be allowed to comment on based on confidentiality reasons. There were, in addition to the 3 gentlemen that are deceased, in addition to Jordan, there was one other individual that was present in the home. And I'm not going to comment on anything about the activities that were going on there other than the fact that they were there and they were socializing after the Chiefs game.
It's interesting, though, that you would bring up that there was another person there other than the 3 who died, the owner of the home, and then this mystery man after the question I asked about drugs. Is there a reason for that?
No, just in fact, I learned a little bit more about this other individual today. And I also, it's my understanding that he spoke with police as well and that he supported what Jordan told law enforcement and what we believe actually was going on at the time.
Has that 4th man and Jordan, have they spoken together since this tragedy unfolded?
I don't believe that they have.
And yet it's your understanding that this 4th mystery person, whose name I hope will surface soon, his account of what happened that night is directly in correlation with Jordan's account.
Sure, and he's not a mystery person. He's one of the group of friends that they watch the game with. He's known to everybody. He's known to law enforcement. So he's not a mystery person. He's somebody there. And essentially, from my understanding, everything that he told the police is in line with what Jordan told the police, even though they were interviewed separately.
I'm so glad he's not a mystery person. What's his name?
I'm not going to provide his name if and when he chooses to go public and say his name.
Okay, well, I mean, I think his name's pretty much out there anyways. To be honest, I won't put it out there until the news does, but I'm sure it's already out there.
Name, then he can do that. He's not my client. I don't represent him. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Okay, I understand. Did your client ever leave the home from Sunday night and the football game until Tuesday when they discovered the bodies in his backyard? Did he ever leave and go outside the home?
No, I don't believe that he did. He's self-employed. He works out of his home. He stayed in the home the entire time from the basic scenario is they had watched the Chiefs game in a couple of different places. They went back to his place, his home afterwards to play some video games and hang out. And at some point during that process, he got tired and he fell asleep. Before he fell asleep, they were going to leave. He actually escorted them to the door, said their goodbyes, opened the door. He went back on the couch and he crashed. And then when he woke up, they were gone. And during the day and a half that occurred, 2 days, I guess, because the police came at around 10 o'clock on Tuesday to his house, he was doing the things that he normally does inside of his home. And that he was sleeping, he was eating, and he was working.
Can I back up? Yeah, can I back up for a moment there? Are you saying that your client, Jordan Willis, escorted the 3 victims to the door? He showed them to the door. Did they walk out the
It's
door?
not that formal, Ashley. He didn't escort them. They're his friends. They've been together all day. They're leaving the house. You know, they're guys. They shake hands. They hug. See you later, bro. Whatever they did. He left them as they were leaving the home. It's not unusual for him and his friends to spend time in each other's homes. It's not unusual for them to hang out when the other person isn't there even. And in this case, he was there. So for whatever reason, they either came back in the home or they went directly to the backyard. That part, no one knows the answer to. Jordan believes they came back in the house and hung out for a while and continued to play video games. And at some point, they went outside in the backyard.
But to be clear, those three men left the house. Jordan saw them leave the house.
He said goodbye to them. He laid down and he crashed, and they went out the front door. Yes.
They went out the front door. He witnessed them leaving the front door of his house.
Sure. Yeah. After he said goodbye to them, he was hanging out. He went back on the couch and he slept. So at some point, they decided to either come back inside the house and hang out for a while, or they went out on the backyard and hung out, which due to the cold temperatures, I don't believe that's the case. I think they probably came back inside and continued to play video games and hang out for a while before they left.
Can you just tell me if there's anything in the backyard of interest? Is there a fire pit? Is there something? Is there a barbecue? Is there something of interest in the backyard that would have drawn them to go there?
You know, I don't know what's in the backyard. I've never been to the house. What I know is what you know from these pictures here. It was a really cold night, so I doubt that anybody would be out there socializing. You know, typically when guys are hanging out or people are hanging out at the house, people will go outside randomly to smoke or do whatever, get some fresh air, and then come back in. Other than that, I can't speculate about what else was going on out there.
So fascinating. John Paserno, I hope you'll come back. And can you just formally put a request into your client, Jordan Willis, that we'd really like to interview with him when he's ready?
Sure. And, he's as much in the dark as you are and as I am, and we all want answers to find out what happened.
Well, that was pretty convenient. He's in the dark. I'm in the dark. We're all in the dark. We all want answers. No, the family wants answers. They deserve answers. Their kids, these guys' kids deserve answers. Their wives. I mean,
to these lifelong, two of them he went to high school with. So he's known them for over 20 years. They're his friends. He's deeply hurt by their passing, and he wants answers as much as everyone does.
It's heartbreaking for these three families as well. I really appreciate you talking to me tonight. Thank you, John.
Good. All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you for watching.
Now, see, him going to high school makes me think that he does. It makes me think that he does know them and like know them on a a personal level, that he would not hurt them like that, But I feel like they possibly got into drugs or something, or got something they thought was, like, again, cocaine or something along those lines, and got something else, or smoked a joint that was laced. Yeah, I'm guessing somebody spiked the party favor. Something happened, or they sold him something that they lied and said, here, this, you know what I mean? Here's some pow, and it's definitely not powder at all. It's something, you know what I mean? Something completely different. But see, that's the thing. One of my friends now, she, hold on one sec. She worked as a nurse. Her and her husband, he worked as a construction worker. They had 5 kids together. He went and picked her up from work, and he had been drinking with his buddies and stuff. Like, he had went out and was drinking with them, and he picked her up from work. They went and picked up the kids from the grandma's. They got home. She asked him to roll a blunt. So he went in, and he had enough time to go in, roll a blunt. He, at that point in time, had thought he was doing cocaine and had actually done fentanyl. And by the time he got out there and sat down on the couch and lit the blunt, his head went back. She said he started breathing real heavy, like gargly. I'm like, what the hell? She's like, yeah, I couldn't wake him up. I didn't know what was going on. Well, she didn't know that he had done this, the drugs that he had done. She just thought he went in to roll the blunt. So, he basically passed away right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? He overdosed and she had no idea what was even going on. So she called 911. The paramedics got there. By the time they got there and hit him with the Narcan, they hit him 5 times with the Narcan and it didn't even phase him. Yeah, he passed away at the hospital that night. She was devastated. She still is. I mean, that was the love of her life. And the 5, she had 5 kids. They had 5 kids together. Yeah, it was crazy. I've never seen, anything like it, to work like that, to take somebody's life that fast. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no joke. That's for damn sure. So yeah, here's Ricky Johnson. He's got 3 daughters. He's a father of 3 daughters. There's a fundraiser here that's like I said, it's hard to pop them up, but they do pop up. But here he is with his 3 daughters. Let's see, let's pop this over here. So he's got a fundraiser of $12,000. There's 5,000 raised so far. This one says, hello, my name is Stephanie. I am the niece of Ricky Johnson. It is with profound sorrow that I share the news of the devastating event that occurred on the night of January 9th. Ricky, along with his friends David and Clayton, were found deceased in the backyard of a house on Northland. This tragedy has left our family utterly devastated and mourning a tremendous loss. Ricky was not only an adored father to his 3 beautiful daughters, but also cherished his son, brother, uncle, and friend. During this incredibly difficult time, we appeal to anyone who is able and willing to assist with the expenses for the funeral services, for which we would be endlessly appreciative. Any funds received beyond the funeral costs will be provided as support for his daughters. How sad, man. It's just like, you don't even know, you know what I mean? If that happened, I wouldn't even know what to think if that happened to somebody in my family. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't know. I would be angry. I would be hurt. I would be upset. I would be pissed off. I would be, heartbroken. So many different feelings, So here's Clayton. This is the 3rd one that was found passed away. He went by Clay. His car was also parked at Jordan's house, and he was engaged to be married soon. It was actually, I believe, his wife that found that kicked the door in or kicked the window in and found him. Pretty sure it was her. But Clayton McGinney had made some poor decisions that led him to losing his license because of traffic violations and had fallen behind on times of child support payments. But Alan McGinney said his cousin had worked hard to better himself the last decade. He no longer had lingering court dates or money owed. In April, Mahoney, Clay's fiance, broke in and found the bodies. So his fiance is the one that found them. This is her. Oh, what's up, Ellie Boo? You come talk to me? What's up, girl?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, babe?
Good. You going through the timeline?
Yeah, just kind of rolling through it because they have they have a timeline. It says Kansas City Chiefs fans deaths, Morning America, like the Good Morning America. They have their timeline set up, but I think this one's a lot better.
Yeah, she did such a good job on this. Yep.
Yeah, she really did. She really did. And there's Clay and his fiance there. That's who kicked the window in and found him. Who went to go look and was like, "Hey, what's up? Something's not right. Where are you at?
Yeah,
what's going on?" Here it says men found dead outside Kansas City home. David, Ricky, and Clay. Jordan Willis, late 40s, the friend and tenant of the house. This is the one that he's went to school. They all went to school. I guess like 3 or 4 of them were in school since junior high.
Yeah. Do you know what I heard the lawyers say a little while ago? That Jordan was working from home. That's the first time I heard that he was
oh, wow.
that he, yeah. I mean, I heard it from the lawyer's mouth. I don't know if anybody else heard that.
That is kind of odd. I didn't catch that either.
Because somebody he called in sick those days, but then somebody said that works from home. So I don't know which is, the lawyer said it though. So I don't know if the lawyer's being inconsistent.
Right. See, okay, so it says I hope my work will create an efficacious vaccine for HIV that will end the epidemic, and I think that we are on the right track. The difficulty of the problem motivates me. Getting an efficacious vaccine for HIV is the hardest standing problem in the field of vaccinology. The out-of-the-box thinking that is required to get an HIV vaccine is highly motivating. Jordan R. Willis, PhD. So this is him. This is his article.
Yeah.
The native graduated with a PhD in chemical and physical biology from Vanderbilt University in 2014. He previously studied chemistry and molecular biology, Northwestern Missouri State University. In 2022, he received an award for his significant contributions to HIV vaccine development. He has 2 pit bull mixes, Sadie and Daisy, and the dogs were at his parents' house all 3 days. So he has those. The people were asking about the dogs. I'm like, if he had fucking dogs, he had to have let them out. There's no way that he could have not noticed people in the backyard if he's got 3 dogs, or 2 dogs. You know what I mean? But the dogs supposedly were at his parents all 3 days.
That was weird. That's like
Wasn't it?
like, I mean, like, I don't know. I would never have my dog away. Like, if it was a big party or something.
Never would I leave my dogs 3 days at my parents just because.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Or just no. But somebody did say that was a Airbnb and that he did not live there, that they were just basically renting the Airbnb.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's true or not. You know what I'm saying? It's at this point, that's hearsay. So
I do have a friend that, like, her father, like, watches her dog because he loves her dog and will take the dog a lot, unless it's some kind of thing like that. Like, the father loves those 2 dogs and would take them from here and there.
You know, if he went to college, they could raise dogs, you know?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Or, you know, they could be living at the mom and dad's and then he could just take them every once in a while. You know?
You just never know, like, somebody set up. I mean, I would never know.
Here's the babies. Here's his 2 fur babies right there.
Yeah, they're cute.
They look like they're sweet.
Yeah. See, he's doing work from outside. He seems like if he's a researcher, then he could definitely be working from home, you know?
Yeah, for sure. A girl who says she dated Jordan in college claims that he was a sloppy drunk who would get very aggressive, and this is her TikTok here. Jordan's sisters post a week before incident, and it's this bird thing that
the real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jordan's sister. So she's like, hello, Lee's Summit Police. I'd like to report a mass homicide. There are not 1, not 2, but 3 dead birds on the back patio of the house I just showed. Send help. This is a screenshot from Jordan's sister's Facebook page where there's 3 dead birds on the back porch.
That was weird a little, but probably
Jordan deleted his Facebook too. Jordan deleted his Facebook, and none of the 3 deceased men followed Jordan on Facebook or Instagram. So they were not friends and they did not follow him on Instagram or Facebook. Which doesn't really mean shit. So in the intro section to his now deleted Facebook page, Willis wrote, walking the line to be the funniest guy in the room and a full-on mental breakdown. While on the other social media platform, Willis describes himself as self-proclaimed man about town. Here's his Facebook page. He looks like a preppy goody-goody.
Yeah.
His website
can be totally not involved.
This is part of his extensive resume. Yeah, he did have a LinkedIn and stuff. It's all gone. Everything's gone. He deleted everything.
I think he was getting too much, like, you know, people were contacting him like they do right away,
Right.
You know, so he might have just, like, privated everything or something. You know, maybe his lawyer told him to do that. I mean, it makes sense that he got a lawyer. Like, you know.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, when you have 3 men that are deceased in your backyard and you don't know anything that happened, you come walking out with a fucking wine glass while his wife is there saying they just froze to death out back. That's an issue.
Yeah.
That's a big problem. you know. But the cops said there was at this point no foul play. So it's really hard to say why he got a lawyer. That's kind of sketch.
But they said no homicide, and but it's still an investigation. Like somebody was saying, like maybe, you know, cops are just like holding back. They have to be, because they don't have the toxicology. So they might know.
You don't have to. Yeah, the toxicology report says the hospital was less than 2 minutes away. So here they are in the yellow. See where they are right here? And the hospital says St. North Hospital to the left. You guys see it? Less than 2 miles away. The hospital is less than 2 miles away. So if something was going on, he could have fucking drove them. That's the thing, you know? Ricky's car was at Dave's house. They rode together. So Dave's car was outside and Clay's car was outside. Clayton and Davis's car was parked out. David's car was parked outside Jordan's from the 7th to the 9th. January 7th on Sunday, lowest temperature was negative 29 degrees. Clayton did a flooring job that morning. Clayton talked to his cousin around 7 p.m. And then Clayton offered to have him and Johnson take over a job the following day so that his cousin could rest his injured back. Chiefs game, okay. Kickoff was at 3:25. Game almost exactly ended at 6:25. The men gathered together to the residence to watch Kansas City Chiefs and from the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, football game, but never returned home. Video of them watching the Chiefs game. But this is from before, right? This Dropbox link. Let me go see real quick. I'm going to put a thing over it just real fast. I can click this link and see what it takes me to.
Hey, sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, it is the Dropbox. I just didn't want to pop something of my stuff open either. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when it opens up, it'll try to pop in a, you know, like. Hold on, it's this. I don't want to trim it or nothing. I just want to watch it. Okay, let me find the volume real quick and we'll turn it on. Okay, so this is a video of them from 2 years ago. Or it was 2022, pretty sure. Let's see here. Okay, can you see this?
Yeah.
Now this is them in 2022 watching the game together a year before.
Is there any dogs anywhere?
You can see David. You can see David and Ricky, the one right there, 15. I'm pretty sure that's him with the long beard, right?
Could be, yeah.
There's the little skinny one over here, looks like to the left.
I feel there's some kids here. The floor looks the same, like it's the same house. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of odd though, just, you know.
Yeah.
So January 8th, which is Monday, so the game was Sunday. Okay, Clayton and Ricky were supposed to do a flooring job and did not show up. No calls, didn't show up. He was annoyed at first, thinking he might have overslept after spending the night with friends, but after reaching out to his cousin's fiance and anyone else he could think of, Alan McKinney learned no one had talked to his cousin since Sunday. Jordan ignores phone calls and the car is outside his house. That's odd to me. Why the hell are you ignoring all the people? So you're telling me you didn't hear the fucking phones ringing off in the damn backyard this whole time? Like, I'm sure the phones are ringing off until they went dead because their wives and their family are probably blowing their shit up.
Supposedly, like the phones and stuff and their wallets were in the house on a table. I don't know. I mean, he just had to look outside and see that their cars were still in the driveway. That's the weird part too.
Yeah, I'm having a real hard time with them saying it's not foul play.
Yeah.
So it says no one hears from the 3 deceased men all day. So nobody heard from them. So Sunday they went to watch the game. Nobody heard from them Monday. Nobody heard anything from them Monday. The 2 guys did not show up to work that day. Friends and family say they made several attempts to contact Jordan, who hosted the football gathering, but they could not get a hold of him. There were no obvious signs of foul play observed at or near the crime scene. A search warrant wasn't required due to the homeowner's cooperation. So he actually just let him in.
Yeah.
So January 9th was Tuesday. The lowest temperature, 18 degrees. Jordan ignores phone calls and the cars outside. Day 2. Right? So we're at day 2. Sunday, they came over to watch the game. Monday, he ignores it all day long. Phone calls, the cars outside, the men in the backyard. Basically acts like he doesn't see shit.
Yeah.
January 9th, Tuesday. Lowest temperature, negative 18 degrees. Jordan ignores phone calls all day long and the cars outside the house. No one hears from the 3 deceased men all day. At some point Tuesday, he was made aware early in the day, messages that he did read, that at least 2 of these men did not make it home. Natalie K., friend of the 3 victims. At some point Tuesday, he was made aware early in the day. Messages that he did read that at least 2 of these men didn't make it home. So he did. So Jordan did open his fucking phone and he did look at those messages.
Because they said red. The receipt said red.
So,
yeah.
Yes. So he knew 2 of the men didn't make it home. 2 of their cars were outside. And then he just, when the cops walk in, he says, this is.
I mean, he could have like known at that point and just been like, what the fuck do I do? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
He
Like,
very well could have. Very well could have. I thought that at first too. Like, what if he panicked? You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they're going to blame me for this. What do I do?
Yeah.
But then again, if he's friends with these guys, he would have immediately called the police and their wives and be like, oh my God, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but I just found him in my backyard. You know, like.
Yeah. Unless he knows that there was, some kind of drugs involved and like didn't want to be, maybe just didn't know what the hell to do and froze up and just, this is how it played out, obviously, because he had to know something. You look out the window and you see 2 cars on your driveway. Like, who doesn't look out their window at least? And like from Sunday to Tuesday, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not buying that bullshit. I'm just not buying it. Here we gotta see where the chat's at. We got to find out, y'all.
They think it's sus. Yeah. Yeah, penny for your thoughts. You can tell when somebody reads your messages, the little icon drops down. It's true, or it will say sent or read. Like it won't even show. I mean, for iPhones, certain phones. I feel like they went outside to like smoke a joint.
Yeah.
That was laced, and like even like we were talking, like the guy that was closest to the door was like the heavier guy. So maybe this is what I was thinking in my own head, like that if they all went out like to the like yard area and they were all together and like 2 of them dropped right away and maybe it didn't hit him as much because he's bigger or something and his tolerance might have been whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? And maybe he was on his way back inside and that's why he was under the porch by the door.
Okay, so our poll says here, do you think it's suspect that the cars were out front and Jordan was ignoring calls and texts?
Samantha said that the cars were on the driveway, not the street, but I heard first they were on the street, but then I heard they were in the driveway in a different article.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Late evening, approximately 9 p.m., friends bang on the door for 20 minutes, no answer. So what is this? Okay, so this is January 9th, Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, they're like, all right, fuck it. We're going over here.
Yeah.
We know it. That's it. We're going over here. We're going to go find out what's up, why they didn't come home. What are y'all doing? And I'm guessing they probably thought there was females over here that they were no good at this point because they were gone for a couple days. You know what I mean? Or, you know, like heavily like drinking or partying or something. You know what I mean? Just not wanting to answer because, I mean, obviously you think, okay, they've been gone 2-3 days. Something's going on, you know? Any wife, I would think something was going on.
May not
Like, all
for
right,
20
who
minutes.
y'all are cheating or something? You guys got strippers over here? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Why are
what
y'all
are you
not
guys
answering?
doing?
What's going on? So Clayton's fiance went to the home, knocked on the door, no answer, and then broke into the basement of the house through breaking a window. She announced her presence, no response. So even though she broke in and banged on they beat on the door 20 fucking minutes. She breaks the damn fucking window, goes in, which I would have too. I ain't even gonna lie. 3 fucking days.
Right,
And y'all
yeah.
you're ignoring the fucking calls. Oh no, I'm coming in. Fuck it. We're going on.
Yeah. Here we come.
I'm gonna go see what's going on with my man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No,
Where you
this
at?
ain't that. We ain't doing that. What's going on in here?
Yeah.
Crazy as it may sound. Yeah. What are you doing? So then she breaks the window, announced her presence, no response. She went in through the front window, which is right here. So okay, you see the screen off. See it? How she took the screen off? There's the front window right there to the left there, down the stairs and into the basement. Down the stairs right here, straight into the basement. I think this is the window she saw the body from.
Oh, like out. Yep.
Yes.
Coming up.
I'm sure it probably was. You know what I'm
Right
saying?
there.
Right there.
Yep. Because that's right outside, maybe to the porch area.
Yep, it is when she goes out, because these are all the pictures we showed that night on the live.
Yeah.
She discovered the first dead body on the back porch covered in snow and called 911. Right there.
Yep. And there's that window over there. Because that's like the basement part.
Yeah, and it says officers responded to the scene at 9:51. So she got there at 9 p.m., beat on the door for 20 minutes, popped the front door open, went down the steps, seen the body laying out back. It's dark. Mind you, it is dark. So all she can see, because at 9 o'clock at night, you know what I'm saying? It's not like super dark, but I'm sure it's probably dark enough. But mind you, she's looking out this window, sees this body out back on the porch or the deck or whatever, you know what I mean? The back part. And calls the police. Immediately they come out, which it takes them probably like 5-10 minutes to get out there. You know what I mean? Boom, they come out there, and upon further investigation, located. Okay, hold on. Friends and family. Hold on. Let's see here. Was a total of 50. Hold on. Okay, officers responded at the scene 9:51. Was a total of 50 hours of no communication from the men to their friends and family to when they were found. Jordan answers the door in his boxers and a glass of wine in his hands for officers after reportedly ignoring friends and family of the 3 men. Upon further investigation, located 2 other bodies in the backyard. Jordan reportedly told police the men froze to death as temperatures dropped below freezing in the area. Officials from multiple agencies were working to determine how the men died. Lindsay says, these were my friends. 3 men do not just go outside and freeze to death while the owner of the home, their friend, stays inside, and only when the police show up, come outside in boxers like you've just been chilling for 2 days while your 3 friends are dead outside. Make noise here, people. The story is not okay. He had been contacted for over 24 hours prior about where our friends were, and also their cars were still parked outside his house, and he didn't reply to anyone. Another lady,
That's what's
although I was not prepared to share how I'm feeling at the moment, my brother David was one of the 3 bodies found at his home. He deserves my voice. My heart is breaking, but I'm just asking for prayers right now. Pray for the investigation, pray for the families of the victims, and pray that this never happens again. It's a terrible feeling, and I can't explain how empty I feel. My big brother is gone, and the words just don't feel right. David Harrington. Oh man, how awful. God, my heart hurts for her. And for all of these ladies, their kids, their families, their wives.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
So
awful. Your husband goes to a freaking game for a couple hours on a Sunday and doesn't come home, and then you find him passed away and outside and no answers, no arrests. They're saying no foul play. What the hell?
It's weird. There's just no way they all just froze to death. You know, it has to be something else that they ingested, in my opinion. Because you don't just, all 3 people don't like go outside and get drunk and fall asleep in the cold and die of the cold, you know? I mean, it could be that their bodies do like show signs of hypothermia, because somebody was saying like the pancreas like gets red or something. So they could have done an autopsy, and that could be part of the reason. But the reason that they got outside that made them fall down is not from like drinking too much. You're not gonna like go to sleep on the snow if you're drunk. 3 people, maybe 1 person by themselves, but 3 people just like going outside and like fall, like it just doesn't make sense. It's not like plausible.
What's up, chap?
Hey, I don't want to put all of this back on the KCPD, but I think you might be interested in a few statistics. I worked for
Oh, baby, put it on me.
I worked for Spire Gas down there for a while, and I worked in some of the toughest areas in town, so I became very familiar with where to keep your head on a swivel.
Right.
So I want you guys to, anyone interested, look up Marlboro Heights and the crime statistics. That's the first thing. You are going to see that the KCPD as a whole, every little town surrounding it that falls into Kansas City, Missouri, is overwhelmed with calls. I was being chased with a baseball bat. I was on the phone with 911 for 26 minutes and still no officer. It is bad. Yeah, it is bad in places. So I'm not excusing that. I'm not trying to say anything that KCPD, I'm not for or against them, but I want you to look up some of the statistics around Kansas City, Missouri. And I'll tell you, my grown son, okay, would call and check on me every week with the text, "Are you still alive?" So, I mean, and he doesn't call me even once a month now that I'm not working there. So, so it's staggering the calls that these people are answering on a daily basis. If you look at
like a really bad fentanyl problem there or a drug problem.
Oh, girl, I couldn't even tell you. Working for Spire Gas, I'm in a whole different realm of living in an outskirts. I lived in a hotel up by St. Joe, which is Northland, actually, near 83rd Terrace. But the truth is that I've been in all different parts of that city. I've been all the way down to, I wish I could remember all of the names, but there's several outlying cities that all run together, and they have to team up because half of the police departments, half of the dispatchers do not even know where the city starts and stops. No joke. That was part of why I didn't get a response right away, is they couldn't decide if they should send city or county. It is horrible down there.
They came in 10 minutes though on this case. So
right. No, but you've got to understand, if you standing there with 3 guys, and God forgive me for saying this because I feel for these families so terribly. But if you're standing there with 3 guys that are in the snow, and you don't have the resources to cover the next domestic call, you've got to understand they're triaging all the time. There is no stop for these guys. Just please look up anybody interested or who thinks I'm that shit crazy. Girl,
No,
I probably
I don't think that. I just think, I mean, like at this point, they got there and they got there in 10 minutes, but at this point, they don't know how long they were dead. You know what I mean? They
exactly.
Day 3. So I mean, they went
do
there,
it.
they got the call, they were there, they came within 10 minutes. They got there, but there was nothing they could do to save them at that point when they
right. Okay.
There.
In contrast, look up Liberty, Missouri. That is part of Northland. Okay. And Liberty, Missouri, the crime statistics are drastically different than Marlboro Heights. However, look at the amount of calls they get. It is ridiculous. And I'm not trying to excuse the police, or I'm not trying to anything.
I'm not saying that. I'm just there at this point. It doesn't really have any effect on this case because, like I said, they called. They were there within 10 minutes. They didn't ignore it. They did not show up. It didn't take them a long time. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
but I do feel like the public is kind of thinking like, okay, they've swept it under the rug. I don't think they have.
I kind of want to know like why there hasn't been any arrests made at this point. But I mean, if they got to wait for a toxicology report, then they got to wait for a toxicology report.
Well,
and because if it was an overdose, they can't really put that on him if there's proof of that,
I'm with you. Look at Aaron's recent arrest. People can put people in jail for the least suspicion and then sort it out later. So absolutely, I think this guy should be at least a person of interest. I mean, he should be something. The 5th guy should be hunted down and questioned thoroughly 3 or 4 times. I think everybody. Yeah, I want to see shit go on in this case too. I have friends down there who live in this area. I want to know too. But I do know that if you just look at the statistics, you'll see what I mean. It is overwhelming in that area. I don't know why. I know it's a big trafficking hub for drugs. I know that. I was warned of several things before they sent me out on my first job. But it's sad. It's sad. Very sad. Hey, thanks for letting me pop in, lady.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Have a good day, love.
Bye.
So yeah, it says I was going to sleep on this and wait to post till tomorrow, but I can't. This man, Jordan Willis, was inside his home alive, warm, while my friends were dead in his yard for Lord knows how long. They were all hanging out since the game Sunday. He knew people were looking for them. He read messages of people searching for him on Tuesday. My husband banged on his door for 20 minutes. My friends banged on his door and then busted a window and yelled and announced her presence while she was inside. Still nothing from him. Then the cops come 10 minutes later and he comes out nonchalant in his boxers with an empty wine glass in his hand. Nothing is adding up. David, Clay, and Ricky need and deserve justice. They didn't deserve this.
Yeah.
Says
why the knocking?
The home picture told police men had frozen to death in the backyard. Their loved ones have raised questions over the lack of reporting on their bodies in the snow that they say was not deep enough to even submerge them. January 10th, Wednesday, families are notified by the fiance. A search warrant wasn't required to enter the residence because of the homeowner's cooperation. 3 people were found dead inside a home on the 5200 block. So, and then it says, notice the amount of snow that would have fallen on them. Not very much. Also, the marks up to the gate, are those from the police?
Oh, like those tracks right there?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? You can tell there was only like a couple inches of snow. It wasn't very much.
Yeah. It got really cold like the weekend after this incident. Right. Yeah.
So January 12th, Forensic of Kansas located in Kansas City confirmed the identities of the bodies. Officials have not released how long they suspect the men had been dead or how they may have died. Jordan had a U-Haul outside the home. He's moving out. So he started moving his stuff out within a couple days. January 16th, the autopsies were performed. January 18th, police confirmed to News Nation that they are investigating the case as a death investigation, not a homicide, claiming there are no signs of foul play at this time.
So still a death investigation, you know what I mean? So it's still an investigation into why, like, of course, but like
Right.
they're just not saying that like there was a homicide involved. Like, so
Yeah,
maybe,
they're not saying there's foul play. They didn't put that in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they actually at this point said there is none. Oh, Gone Girl, thank you so much. She gifted 10 memberships. If you guys got one, please make sure you thank. That was really sweet of you, love. Thank you for supporting the Hive, baby. So yeah, it says at this time, no arrests have been made. Police say the friend is cooperating with law enforcement, which is good. That is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
that
next
says a lot,
the next phase in the investigation is determining the medical examiner's cause of death. Until those findings are available and conducted, the investigation can't move forward. Here's an interview with Ricky's family. And just says Jordan has lawyered up, and here's an interview with his attorney. Now we will watch them both. Let's see.
Yeah, he's changing his story a little bit.
Now, see, that's what I was wondering too. Is he changing his story, or what's going on with that?
It's just different. He said two conflicting things. Even I think Pascal this morning caught it. We'll catch it.
Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
We have his mother, Norma Chester. We have his mother, Norma Chester, his brother, Jonathan Price, and his niece, Stephanie Walling. To the three of you, my deepest condolences to your family. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us this morning. I can't imagine. Norma, let me just start with you. You got the phone call that every parent dreads. How are you holding up? And who was Ricky, for those of us who didn't know him?
It's very hard holding up. I don't remember what she
Who was he?
He was a loving son. He was a loving father, a loving brother, uncle.
Yeah. Norma, we hear your heart, and I can't imagine what you're feeling as a mom. I think too, anyone following this story from near or far can agree that something just doesn't add up here, right? Three friends don't just get together for a football game and freeze to death, which is what the guy who lives in that home says happened. What does your mother's intuition tell you, Norma?
That something is not right, and he should be arrested. He should at least be investigated, and they are not doing anything.
Jonathan, what's your sibling gut check here? And, you know, to your mom's point, can you offer any more insights as to who this man was who hosted Ricky and his friends, how he didn't know that there were bodies in the backyard or didn't report that there were bodies in the backyard for days on end? What are you learning from law enforcement?
Well, law enforcement hasn't spoken to me specifically, but it's mostly word of mouth right now. And what we do know is that he did have animals that do need to go outside. You know, they didn't get enough snow to really think that would, you know, cover an entire person. And, you know, dogs have that sense. You know, there's many different things that we just don't understand, and how somebody would not be at least investigated in any way or held until we've heard that he's moving out as well. So we don't know if he's going to be sticking around much longer.
Okay. And just to clarify, did you know this guy ahead of time? Any red flags that you know about with this friend, this fourth party?
No, the two men that my brothers were with, they were inseparable. But this man, we did not. No one from Ricky's family knew. And we don't know how they became associated together.
Yeah. Gosh, Stephanie, you know, police quickly ruled out any foul play, but it seems so many, including the direct family members, y'all are still in the dark, wondering what led them to that conclusion in the first place. Have police shared any evidence with you or, you know, closer family members that maybe haven't shared publicly that are helping you make any sense of what happened whatsoever, or it's just been silent on your end?
Yeah, we haven't really heard much at all. Honestly, we just want answers.
Ricky's cause of death is still under investigation. An autopsy has been performed. Norma, what are you hopeful for when it comes to those results? I mean, what are you hoping to, are you hoping it's something as innocent as carbon monoxide poisoning? I mean, what are you praying for here as you wait for those results to come back to your family?
I have not one time thought it was carbon monoxide. I believe they were poisoned by this guy.
Jonathan, any idea, any insights that you could give us as to, you know, these three friends? You've seen the rumor mill swirling online. Do you think it was sinister? Do you think it was, you know, drinking involved, drugs involved? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it's definitely drinking. Everyone loved to have a good time, especially when watching the Chiefs game.
Sure.
And I don't like to speculate very much. I like to deal with facts. But, you know, my brother was a smart man, and there's no way that he would, you know, it's just freezing to death is not a cause of death that I would accept. Not for three grown men that were inseparable, that looked after each other. There's just no way.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what a toxicology report would tell us on all that, other than what potential drugs were in his system. But then again, it took a very long time to get that autopsy done because of the situation that arose and how long they had to wait and everything like that. And I'm not a scientist anyway, so I don't know how long those drugs are still in their systems if they were drugged. But yeah, we're just looking for some type of effort.
It's weird. It says like they don't know. The family said that they don't know him, that he doesn't know them from high school. So I wonder how they know Jordan. Do you know what I mean? Like those three were super close, but it doesn't seem like Jordan was close.
Well,
They
yeah,
didn't
that's
even
what
know
I'm
him.
saying. Like it doesn't. They're these guys from what? Well, I had to go out and get fucking Duke real quick, but from what I could hear of that, didn't seem like they were very close, like he said.
Yeah. This poor mama. Is that her sister? Is the sister, I guess? And I think it's the brother, but I guess that's the sister. They think, I mean, he said it. He's like, there's no way my brother, like, he's smart. There's no way he went outside and went to sleep and died of like hypothermia. Like, you know, like it's his brother. He
Right.
knows him. Like that wouldn't happen unless you were like trapped in the woods and couldn't go anywhere. Like you were 2 feet from a house, you know? It just doesn't make sense. Like that part of it. God, it must be so hard for them because they're not getting any answers, and they think Jordan must be or you know, of course they think somebody is involved with something.
Yeah, it's really sad. The families are, you know, wanting answers, and I believe they deserve answers. This is bullshit, and I think he knows more than what he's saying. I think he's probably scared to say, yeah, we were partying, yeah, we were drinking, we had, you know, whatever, unless he got it for him, and you know what I'm saying, or called somebody
Yeah.
over. He's scared to say that or whatever. I don't know. I mean,
He had 2 days to get rid of all of that. If you think
Sometime.
about it. Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just said he had 2 days, Jordan. If there was like some kind of drugs or some kind of whatever, he had 2 days to get rid of that in the house. Truthfully,
He
right?
had a couple days to sleep it off. I mean, obviously he wasn't still drunk 2 days later. I mean,
yeah,
whatever they did, he didn't do because he's alive.
Unless he had a higher tolerance to whatever
Right.
it was.
Very
Yeah.
true. Didn't even think about that.
Like he could have like had something that they had, but maybe if he was like used to it, then his body, like, and people say like everybody's bodies are different with some of these drugs. Like he could have
Right.
had like a like reaction where he didn't die, but he slept for 2 days or a day and then woke up really like out of it, and then everything happened. I mean, you just don't know what's going on with him. Like he could just be freaking out that maybe he saw the cars were still there. Maybe he saw that the bodies were in the backyard and was like, what the fuck do I do? You know, I don't know. You know what I mean? It could be a million things because he could have been freaking out, which I would if like your friends were over and you wake up and then there's 3 dead people and you know, their cars are still there. He had to know something with all the messages coming into his phone. Come on.
See, and
Everybody's-
so I put on here, do you think it was an OD? Do you think there was, like possibly with drugs, something going on, like somebody brought something over or had something or put something in their drink possibly? I just,
Yeah, I mean, Tribal Gal was saying this. There's not much. Once there's toxicology, I think that's what they're waiting on, and that's like even when the lawyer spoke about it today, he said when like Ashley Banfield asked him about drugs, he said he couldn't comment on that. So I mean, that says a lot right there.
Right.
The fact that he didn't comment on it. It's really the only thing that would explain 3 people like that going out. You know what I mean? There's not much, like carbon monoxide poisoning would happen in the house, and then Jordan would be also,
right.
Unless he was upstairs. But like, then how did they get outside? Because you don't just it's inside the house where you have to be in a trapped area for carbon monoxide poisoning, not outside, unless and you don't go outside, and then this doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know how foul play could be ruled out either, T. Marie. Like, maybe the only thing I could think of is that maybe they're not saying it. I mean, he did lawyer up. Maybe the cops aren't saying that right now, but it could change. Things could always change in an investigation when they find out more information. Yeah, Pecan, I think they did already go through their phones. There must be a lot of information in those phones. True. Yeah, like what would be the motives of Jordan? Like,
well, here's what the says. They were his friends. Okay, so this is what so it says Jordan has lawyered up, and then here's the interview with his attorney. They were his friends. They were at his house socializing. If he had found them there, or if they were in danger, he would have called the police and tried to help them, the lawyer said. The homeowner was close friends with the 3 men and had nothing to do with their deaths, according to his attorney, John Paserno. He had no knowledge that they remained in his backyard or that they needed medical attention. See, I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah.
Paserno said in the statement, his client doesn't know the timing, manner of their death or when they left his house. The man's family previously said he was told that his friends froze to death. The man's family previously said he was told that his friends froze to death. Now, who would have told him that?
Yeah. Right? It's a weird thing to say.
According to Paserno, the last time his client saw the 3 men was when they left the house and he went to bed. Paserno said that prior to being contacted by Kansas City police, his client did not receive any phone calls or text messages from family or friends of the victims. What? I feel like that's a fucking lie. If they
it is.
They said they called, I believe the family called. Hey, Brianna, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey. So on the one topic, I can kind of relate to this guy, the working from home and never looking outside the 4 walls of your house thing.
Really? You're not the window to see if it's snowing or not?
I'll look out the window to see if it's snowing, but I can go literally weeks without looking into my backyard. I open the door to let the dogs out, and they have a dog door. So I don't have to. I don't walk out the front door. I don't go grocery shopping. My husband does on his way home from work. I literally walk back and forth between my bedroom and my office. And then the bathroom, which is between them.
Yeah.
So
everybody has different things. You're exactly like, you just never know people's like habits. Like he could never look out the back. Maybe his dogs didn't even go back there. You just don't even.
That document said that the dogs weren't even there. They were at his mom's
No,
house.
they weren't. But I'm saying like when they were there, maybe he didn't even, because I think there's like, is there water back there too or something? I remember seeing like pictures of the house, and I feel like it goes way back,
Yeah, like not seeing their cars out front. My son left his car here for 2 days once, and I didn't know. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming back to get my car." Oh, your car's here?
Interesting. Oh wow! So there you go. You just see, some people just aren't like, don't notice stuff, or just don't even, right?
Right. And I'm not going to say this isn't hinky as hell, because it obviously is.
Oh yeah, but things could be explained away. is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, some things can. The
Some
lawyer
things can.
saying, I don't know if he saw them leave, and then saying, yeah, sure, they left through the front door. In the same interview? I don't like Ashley Banfield, but she got him there.
Yeah. Also, I just saw Chronicles say that the police said that the toxicology reports could change the status of the case.
And that would make sense. The thing I really don't understand, this guy's a PhD. So at the very least, he's a chemical engineer. He's a researcher. He's a very, very, very smart man. Why would he just leave them lay in his backyard for 3 days if he knew they were there?
Yeah,
and
but
if he killed them?
Book smart, like data research smart, isn't maybe like smart, like common sense smart sometimes. I don't know, maybe freaked out or something, or, you know.
Freaked out doesn't speak to answering the door half naked with a glass of wine, though.
No, it doesn't at all. Right.
Right. That's what gets me. He answered the door with a glass of wine. Like he had
In
no
his
idea.
underwear.
You know?
Yeah. And they must have froze to death. Well, at that point, the temperature was already dropping toward that negative 30 that they had the very next Sunday. So,
but not until later on in the week, even. Like on Tuesday, it was colder, but not like much colder. Not like it was on. Yeah.
Right. By the time by the time of the next game, it was, when they played Miami, it was a wind chill of 30 below with 50-mile-an-hour gusts and an ice storm and all of that.
Yeah, and that could have been like a hypothermia. But
I just don't understand how someone that intelligent could not think to get rid of their cars, get rid of their bodies, get rid of their car keys, get rid of their wallets.
But then he would be like, maybe he's just like, I'll leave it just like it is, say that they died of hypothermia. You know what I mean? Because if he didn't know what to do, he could have been in like panic mode for like a day. He could have slept for a whole day, who knows, and then seen them or not seen them. And because he had to see the messages coming in, especially at one point. Everybody's connected to their phone. If there's like messages that, you know, these we're looking for.
Well, his lawyer's claiming he didn't have any.
I know.
I don't believe that. If their wives knew him, their wives were messaging him.
Right.
Asking him where they were.
I believe that.
I would have. You know, my husband, when my husband goes and plays a game called Warhammer on Saturday morning. And if he's an hour late, I'm texting my brother-in-law going, hey, where's my husband? You know, I mean, it's common sense. If they know him, he got messages from him. So I don't believe that. Maybe not hearing their phones ring in the backyard, that I can believe. He probably didn't hear their phones ring, but he definitely.
Somebody said they were inside the house on a table. I don't know. That's just like a report, but somebody said that the wallets and their phones were inside, not even outside. So wouldn't he hear them even more if they were like downstairs ringing? Like, I'm sure that fiance called. I would have called like 50 times or more. Over and
yeah,
over
if the
all
phones
day.
were in the house, he heard those too.
They could have been on silent though. You never know. You know.
But then they're vibrating, and then you're walking around going, "What is that sound?"
But my phone is
And,
silent, silent.
you know?
Not even vibrate. There's people. Me and my sister both have our phones on silent since like for 10 years. Like I just always have my phone on silent. It never ever rings. You just don't know people's habits and what they set their. Who knows? Like, but all three of them being silent is like a little bit of a stretch. Like guys usually have I don't know, don't do silent. I don't know. I always have my phone on silent, always. But that's just me, you know what I mean? But I don't think all three of them, that would be like a lot, like all three of them died of hypothermia. Like it's just, what are the chances that all three of them had their phones silenced? Maybe one, maybe two, I don't know.
Being a football fan, being a Chiefs fan in particular, I do silence my phone on Sundays. I do silence my phone, especially during Chiefs games, because don't bug me when my boys are playing.
See, there you go.
You're going to mess up my concentration. I got my psychic link with my Patty, you know. It's like, come on, we're going to hit Travis now. We're going to hit Travis. But immediately afterwards, it comes right back on.
Yeah. But yeah.
So they would have turned them back on.
But we
I
just don't
would
know
say.
what happened between that and then. You know, we don't know where they went outside, what time that was. There's like a lot of factors that could have influenced that. And who knows? Maybe some of them have their phone on silent all the time. We just don't know. Those are just things we don't know, and we can't like speculate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's hinky. It's hinky as hell.
The whole thing. There's so many hinky things about it. That's the thing. It's totally hinky.
I do love that they are all wearing Patrick Mahomes jerseys in that
Yeah,
video.
somebody said that in the chat.
Like, I love Chiefs Kingdom. We are all Patrick Mahomes.
Really? Aw.
Yeah, I have a Mahomes jersey too, and I live in Illinois. I talk about getting dirty looks.
Oh, wait,
Especially
Clay's
since my son's
cousin
a
said
Dolphins fan.
he spoke to him on the phone after the game at 7:30. Oh, wow. Did you hear that? Clay's cousin?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, then he definitely had his phone off silent. And they were an afternoon game that day. They were not the late night game.
But you don't know. It could have been on silent, and he could have gotten a call still. You don't know. He could have called, you know. He
That's
spoke
true.
to him. He could have called him, you know. And it's like I get calls all the time. My phone literally has been on silent for 10 years. Like I don't even turn it. I never turn it off, silent or vibrate. It's just like how it is, you know. So I don't think I'm like a complete anomaly. I think other people do that.
So I
Everybody's
had
different.
mine on silent for a couple of years, but it was always on buzz.
Yeah, like the vibrate. I don't even like that because then I'm like, ugh, it's vibrating, you know.
Right, and it's an iPhone, so it buzzes in the tempo of the
Yeah,
ringtone.
moves and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, like Nikki keeps hers on silent. I mean, my sister both do. I mean, there's just a lot of people. See, Branson girl all the time. A lot. Monica always on silent. See, a lot of people. Wow, I thought it's not very rare.
Yeah, I don't pay
keep
attention to
on
most of my notifications, especially on the weekend. I just clear them off. If you're work and you're contacting me on the weekend, you can wait till Monday. And if you're family, you can wait till after the game.
Glory, silent, no buzz. See, there's a lot of silencers in here. Yep. Oh, see, Penny never puts her phone on silent. I worry too much. Well, you have kids and stuff. Yeah. Like if
Yeah,
there's
I
an
started
emergency.
having, I have to keep my ringer on now that my son is type 1 because if his sugars plummet, I get an alert telling me that he's about to have a seizure and we got to get sugar in him.
So you need your notifications on, and that's like a reason to keep it on. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, see, Lisa said never when kids were little, now 100% silent. Thumb Thug, my phone says, see, there's so many silencers in here. Wow. Nikki has 4 kids and 6 grandkids, and she's silent still. Wow. I'm like so like fascinated by all these silence. Yeah.
Moral of the story. This is why people don't answer you when you call them.
Yeah. Everybody's on silence. But we're always around our phones. So that's the whole thing.
Right.
It's like I don't miss calls because I'm like with it and I see it ringing usually, or I call right back after I saw somebody just called me, you know.
I mean, this story caught my attention because they are Chiefs fans, so they are part of my extended family.
Yeah.
You know, and I definitely want to see justice, but there's just so much. It just doesn't make any sense why someone that smart would be that stupid.
You mean Jordan? You talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. He might be playing dumb though with this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Very good point. He might be. And I understand the getting the lawyer thing. Because myself, having seen what happens to innocent people who don't get lawyers, no, I will never cooperate with the police again. I allowed my son to do it once and he almost went to jail. Never do it again.
Yeah.
And he had done absolutely nothing wrong. And because of something he said offhandedly while being honest with them, he almost went to jail for something he didn't do. And the lawyer got him out of it, thank God. But I will never cooperate with the police without a lawyer again. And I am I've never even had a speeding ticket. So I don't advocate anyone anyone talk to the police without a lawyer. Even if you're just a witness, take a lawyer with you.
Oh my God, Death Griffs is saying that they used Google to find their phone, which overrides the silence and makes it ring at the loudest setting. That's good to know. if you have a silent phone but need to find it.
Find My iPhone does that too. The sound that it plays is obnoxious.
That's good to know, though.
Yeah, because I've lost it like in my house before, and I can always find it.
Yeah,
because it is obnoxious and loud.
Yeah, what did we do before cell phones, Firefly?
That's the best advice. Never talk to the media, family, no one. Get a lawyer.
Yep. Hey, Boston.
Because that whole they can and will use it against you, they absolutely will.
Yep.
And if they can't find a suspect and you've said something that they can twist, they will.
It makes sense that he got a lawyer. I mean, smart guy, I don't know.
And that's not even to say cops are dirty. It's just if you're the only person who has said anything even remotely suspicious, you're all they got. So that's what happens. Innocent people, the Innocence Project exists for a reason.
Yeah. Well, there's another, like a fifth person that left at like 11:30, supposedly.
Yeah. And if Jordan went to sleep and there was that fourth person, and I do say kudos to the lawyer for not giving that name out live on the air. I wouldn't have either. I would have said, just because he's not unknown to the police doesn't mean I'm going to make him known to you. But because the game was over by 7, right? So if Jordan went to bed and the 4 of them stayed for another 4 hours, he has no idea what happened.
Yeah. He just said he went to bed. Yeah.
So maybe anonymous person number 5 really is the answer. But I don't advocate sleuthing to find who number 5 is either. He's anonymous for a reason.
He could be like, if there was, allegedly maybe drugs involved, maybe he's the guy that brought them. If he came later, I don't know.
If he's their potential suspect, you could be compromising the case. If he's a witness, then you're definitely compromising the case. Do not try to find out who that is. That's my advice. Leave it be until the police make an announcement.
It was like that even at the beginning, because Jordan's name came up and then people were like, well, maybe Jordan, that's like, because it was coming through Facebook and like nephews and whoever. And I remember like we weren't even sure that he was until his lawyer came out and stuff. And they were like, oh, yeah, it is Jordan Ellis. This, because you just never know. Like names get dropped,
Right. And like Queen said, when she played that video a while ago, someone brought up there's 5 guys in that video. He might be in that video. So
a year ago though, that was from like a year.
Yeah, but
I mean, who knows? They could be a group. Yeah, right. There were some kids though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe, there are going to be people on Facebook who knows who that 5th guy would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that, like Queen said, his name is out there. I just don't think anybody needs to be repeating it.
They questioned him. That's what they said, that the police already questioned him.
That's good.
That's what the lawyer said. But the lawyer, I don't know, is kind of like contradicting himself as well. Like with the first, he said that the messages, he got the messages, then he didn't get them, so who knows? I don't know.
Is this the Missouri side or the Kansas side?
I think it's Kansas City. I think it's Kansas. Missouri.
Well, it's Missouri.
Missouri.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
know it's Kansas City, but it's in both states.
yeah. It's like right on the border. I know. I have a friend in whatchamacallit? What's that other closer? What can I think of the name of it right now?
Overland Park is in the Kansas side.
St. Louis is like 2 hours away.
St. Louis is on the other side of the state.
Yeah. But it's like Missouri.
Yeah,
it's in Missouri.
St. Louis is I'm an hour from St. Louis, but I'm 4 hours from Kansas City.
Oh yeah, because they're like 2.5 hours apart. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's in the Missouri side, Kansas City.
Yeah. Okay, it's Missouri. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Does part of it go into like Kansas? Is Kansas City
Half
like
of it
part?
does.
Oh, oh. So I don't. Let me. Yeah, I don't make sure.
Yeah, Kansas
Northland.
City is split like right in two, like Texarkana.
Yeah, let me look and see. It says like the state in the article. It's like Missouri News is like tagged, so I think it's Missouri. I don't know.
Okay. So I'll
Maybe
have
the
to
chat will know.
watch Channel 4 and Channel 5 tonight and see if they cover this, because they usually cover big stories out of the Missouri side of Kansas City. So
Well, here, this is the lawyer's.
Oh, good. Yeah.
It says interview with Jordan's lawyer video. This is one of them, and then here's the other one. Let me see. All right, let's pop this on real quick.
Out of Kansas City. 3 guys found dead outside of a friend's home after they'd all gone over to watch a Kansas City Chiefs game with him. And the living friend, whose home they'd gone to, apparently never contacted the police. Apparently claiming days later that the 3 men identified as 38-year-old Ricky Johnson, 37-year-old David Harrington, 36-year-old Clayton McGinney, froze to death outside of his home. The autopsy results are currently pending, but as of now, police are saying there are no signs of foul play and are not treating this as a homicide investigation. Joining us now is John Pacerno, the attorney for the homeowner. Thanks a lot for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so a lot of people, particularly family members of those who died, have a lot of questions for your client. What does he say happened here?
Well, at this time, he doesn't say anything different than what he's told police previously, that he has no knowledge of what happened to those young men after they left his home.
Let me read you. This is from one of his friends, from one of the friends of the one of the people who died, who said on Facebook, "The man was in his home alive while my friends were dead in his yard for Lord knows how long. They were all hanging out since after the game Sunday. He knew people were looking for them. He read messages of people searching for him on Tuesday. My husband banged on his door for 20 minutes. My friend banged on the door and then busted a window and yelled and announced her presence while she's inside, and still nothing from him. Then the cops come 10 minutes later and he comes out nonchalant in his boxers with an empty wine glass in his hand. Nothing is adding up. Dave, Clay, and Ricky need and deserve justice. They didn't deserve this." Your response?
Sure, if all of those things are true, that doesn't mean he had anything to do with what happened to those young men. Obviously, 3 men who die all at the same time, and there's no signs of foul play whatsoever from the police. There's nothing to indicate that Jordan had any involvement whatsoever in their deaths. I spoke with the prosecutor this morning, as a matter of fact. The toxicology reports are due in a couple of weeks, and we can all speculate as to how they died. But as far as my client being involved, Jordan didn't have anything to do with their deaths. When they left his home after the game, he didn't even really know which door they went out. They were in the backyard. He doesn't use that particular door. He goes out in the front. And so he had no knowledge that they were out there until, Tuesday, when he was told that they were out.
He goes out the front. Okay, we'll give him that. But the cars were parked out front.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have seen him.
Oh, yeah.
But this,
for 2 days, you're telling me for 2 fucking days you didn't look out your windows at all.
Yeah.
Not any of your windows. You didn't hear them beating on your fucking doors or your windows. And I know that woman was pissed when she started pounding on that fucking door for her man and he didn't come home for 2 days, because we are all women. We come on now.
oh, yeah. And Chronicles is right. This is different than he just said. He has no idea what door they used. But in the interview he gave Ashley, he said he did know what door they used.
Yeah. The
He
second.
said he doesn't use the back door. So what other door would there be?
Yeah, and he
changes
keeps
his
saying he
story.
hasn't seen them since they left his house. They didn't leave your house, dude.
All right. They never left.
Yeah, but he did hear the cops knocking, but nobody else knocking, just the cops. That's kind of.
Yeah, weird. You didn't hear a girl, the wife breaking in, but you heard the cops.
Yeah.
said he walked them out the front?
Yeah.
Time, Crime, and Change said that's.
Yeah, he did. He said
That's
he
what he
walked
said.
them to the front door, shook their hands, and said he'd see him later.
But then he changes it in the second one.
That's even weirder that they were in the fucking back. If he walked him out the front, he doesn't use the back. This lawyer needs to get his fucking shit together. Lord.
Yeah, he does.
And what of the claims from the families that they were trying to contact him and he wouldn't respond and they were going to the house, etc.?
Sure. I don't know about whether or not they went to the house or tried to contact him, but he was home sporadically. I know another allegation I've seen floating out there is that he would have had to put the dogs out, that the dogs would have went in the backyard, and that's untrue as well. The dogs stay at his dad's house, which his dad lives in a different location, and that's where the dogs were. He had no reason to go in the backyard. As you can see, we've had recent snowstorms and that kind of thing. So he had absolutely no knowledge that they were out there. They were his friends. They were at his house socializing. If he had found them out there or if they were in danger, he would have called the police and tried to help them. He's a highly educated guy. He's a good guy. He has a full-time job. In no way would he try to harm his buddies.
And to be really clear, he didn't know that there were 3 dead, frozen friends outside his house.
Correct. No idea. I mean, if you didn't look in your backyard, how would you know that?
All right. John Paserno, thank you so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Let's get back with the panel. Geraldo Rivera, Ashley Banfield, and Jesse Weber. All right, Ashley.
Here, pause for a
it's
second,
cold,
Queen.
where they are there. You grew up in incredibly cold weather.
I was on the wrong one. I paused the wrong one.
Oh,
you're
fine.
I had muted back here, and then I realized I was like, "Oh shoot!"
I say Deborah Deborah said he didn't try to call his friends the day after the party. After the last regular season game, the last regular season game, if they are good friends and they are football buddies, there's no way he wouldn't have tried to call them, because there were other games that night that the playoff picture was dependent on. And we are all talking about who's beating who and who's made the wild card game. And okay, well, we've got to beat Miami and we've got to do this so we've got to win by so many points so we get home field. They're talking strategy. Just because the regular season's over, postseason starts. And they're talking on the phone constantly, because my son and I are talking football 24/7 right now. Your team is in the playoffs. You're talking playoff picture. You're talking, who are we going to face? Where are we going? Are we on the road? Well, oh, we've got the Bills next week. Oh, we've got, well, they didn't. They had Miami. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if
which
you don't watch
game
football,
was
you
this?
probably don't.
Which game was it, this one? Chargers versus which one? Someone was asking, Pecan, does anyone know which game it was? I've seen them say Chargers and Raiders.
The Chargers and the Raiders were the Sunday night game that week, I think.
The week after or the day of?
No, the week after they played. The KC played Miami in Kansas City. But because Buffalo had beaten Miami by more points, I think that's why Kansas had to go to play in Buffalo this past weekend and beat them there. And suddenly we're talking football. But they're talking strategy and plays and who's on IR, who's hurt, who's coming back, who have we got on the line next week, that kind of thing. He would have called him the next day to talk about that stuff. If they're really, really good football buddies, because that's what football buddies do. That's my input anyway. Not talking to my friends the next day doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't seem
the
like
game
they
they
were
watched
good friends
was
with
Kansas
this
City
guy
versus San Diego. There we go. Okay, they beat the Chargers that day. Okay.
Okay, so it was a Chargers game and they beat them. And
Yeah.
was there any other games that night that they would have been watching or anything? You said
No, there was another game
Okay.
later that night. They wouldn't necessarily have watched it,
But
like the NFC and the AFC and who's moving toward the Super Bowl and stuff like that. No, Miami was the week after Chronicles. That's what I was talking about.
Sam,
Miami was the week that it was super bitter cold.
Are we ready to play this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Grew up in incredibly cold weather as well. What do you make of what Mr. Paserno is saying there?
I grew up in minus 30, so I don't think Kansas City's cold at all. However, look, I get what Mr. Paserno is saying, and that it does make sense. I once rented a dumpy house that I never saw the backyard at all. I did, however, see cars in my driveway, and those friends had vehicles still in the driveway for 2 days after the game. So that's a hard one to sort of put my head around, because if he indeed is going out the front door to and from wherever he goes every day, isn't he calling the friends to say, come get your cars? That didn't happen.
Right. Now, how the hell?
Right.
And I'm very, very concerned about what Kaylee Laturion said in her Facebook. They broke in to the house calling his name and didn't answer. And they're in his house and they find the bodies. And then 10 minutes later, he's coming out with a wine glass in his underwear. All of that, very uncomfortable.
Jesse?
It's strange. I don't think we learned too much from this interview. I mean, he emphasized something that I thought was interesting. All three died presumably at the same time. That's very curious. And if they had cell phones on them, if it was a case they got locked out of the house or in trouble, they didn't contact anybody else. There's a lot of unanswered questions here. And I'm not surprised from this attorney that we didn't get those answers, because he is representing his client in a really difficult situation right now.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
I'm actually looking for the layout of his house where we remember we looked the other
Oh,
day.
yeah. Let me grab it.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, if you have it, will you go grab it? Because this is not. This ain't adding up right, y'all. It just is not. I'm sorry.
Penny brings up a good point of. I mean, that's a 6 foot tall fence. If that's a standard 6 foot tall privacy fence, that means it's got most likely 2x4s across the middle of the back and then the top and the bottom. They could have climbed it. I mean, it's not like the walls of Alcatraz. It's a fence. So something about them kept them from climbing out of that backyard.
Right. That's what I mean. And their cars were right out front. But actually, there's a little fence piece. You can see it in those pictures. That's why I wanted to grab those. So it says January 23rd, Jordan's attorney says there was a fifth person at the incident during the football game. And then it says News Nation interview with Jordan's attorney, which we just watched. Attorney confirmed Jordan has moved out. There was a fifth person at the party. Jordan went to sleep and remaining 4 men stayed up and partied. Now, how did one of the guys left, right? And there was 3 found outside. And he went to bed. Story's got a lot of holes in it. Like last time he saw them, they were leaving the house, but he didn't know they had left. That doesn't make any sense, Caleb McGinney said. Contrary to a Saturday statement released by attorney John Paserno on behalf of his client Jordan Willis, Paserno says Willis went to sleep and never saw the men leave. He's changed that story. Now he claims Willis went to sleep while the victims were while 3 victims and the 5th man continued to hang out in his home. When we would have people over at his house, yes, sometimes people get tired, they go to bed. They get tired. There are people that are very close to you and you feel comfortable going to bed and allowing them to leave when they want to leave. Paserno said Willis never left his home once he got back home Sunday. That's why he didn't notice the victims' cars were still there. Paserno also claims that his client didn't hear anyone banging on the doors over 2 days, nor did he hear Clayton McGinney's fiance break in and scream his name, but minutes later he heard the police knock on the door. None of us know what happened to these individuals, and I think the most important thing to remember here is these are his 3 buddies. Police statement to New York Post. There have not been any arrests or charges, and no one is in custody. There are no specific threats or concerns for the surrounding community at this time. Bacina added, the resident at the house was cooperative with detectives the day the deceased were discovered. Kansas City police did not immediately respond to a request from the Post about why the men have been declined to seek shelter or if they were under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Nephew of the victims is claiming the men died from fentanyl overdose. Not confirmed, but claims to have been told this. Here's this. It says, one of those men was my uncle. They didn't freeze to death outside. They were laced with fentanyl. Well, the fentanyl overdose looks like, okay, what a fentanyl overdose looks like and how quickly it happens. Right here's a YouTube video.
Yeah. It's like of
This
that officer. Have you seen that before?
That's like an active D. I don't think we want to watch that.
No, it's okay. This is from like YouTube.
We just like
Oh, okay.
They clear traffic on one yet? Sit down. Sit down.
Damn it. Happened that fast. That fast, man.
Just touching it and boom. Yep.
Yep. Touched it and out.
See, this is why I don't think Narcan should be like restricted to first responders.
Oh, look at that. Sad. So scary, you know?
Hell yeah, it is.
Terrifying.
Scary as fuck, especially when you're not used to that and you don't do those kind of drugs. You don't know what's going on. You know?
I do know that all up and down the I-70 corridor, we have like almost everyone is in Illinois anyway. We're not even like trusting our usual people right now because our MJ is laced. So we're all going to the dispensaries.
Well, that's what might have happened with this. If they got like some kind of joint, went outside to smoke it, and that was laced. That's the only thing I could think of, because why else would you go outside for any other drug other if it's smoking? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Just my thoughts. Like in the cold? I don't know.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, H was laced with it, and now it's worked its way down into the MJ, and it's terrifying. Because it's killing kids and young people. That's who it's killing. And
I know
it's
you can get Narcan at Walgreens. That's cool.
You
And it's
can?
$45, they said. I saw Narcan for sale at Walgreens. Sucks they charge $45, but it's glad it's there.
Yeah, but there's places that give it away for free because listen, when I fucking when I did my EMT stuff, they had a place where you could go and get boxes of it. We could go and get boxes of it and give it out for free, and we did.
Yeah, that's good. It should be more like readily available like that, you know?
Yeah, I thought everybody got it for free. I don't know. I just thought that everybody did.
Maybe it's just being downstate Illinois. If I went into my drugstore here and asked for Narcan, they would probably call the cops on me.
What?
Just because they would think I was selling something that I was needing to inoculate myself against. Welcome to Southern Illinois. I mean, if you're not a preacher, you're supposed to pretend to be down here. I did not know you could get Narcan over the counter. Did not. I thought it was only first responders.
Well, it might only be certain, you know, could be like a state thing. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? Like, I don't know where death grips, where they live, but it might be some states offer it. Yeah. Oh, Bernard says anyone in my state can get it, but as far as selling it though, I think.
Just feel like if that was the case, they might have been, you know what I'm saying? They could have gotten joints or could have bought a joint or one of them, you know, at the game or something that, you know, like, or got it before or somebody brought them some bud or said, hey, I'm going to grab some, you know, I'm going to grab some powder. I'm going to grab like a 50 or something or whatever. And whoever brought it over brought that instead of, you know, and they thought they were doing cocaine and they were really doing something different, you know, and then bam, they walked outside because you get high, you know what I'm saying? And walked outside for a second, boom.
Right.
Or
Wait,
you
I
could have
don't
walked
feel
outside if
quite
they were getting sick.
right.
This is the thing was, like with heroin and shit like that, fentanyl, I'm thinking like heroin and shit. When you get, if you think, that's the way to get it confused. If you think it's cocaine or something else, just like my friend was telling me, she's like, listen, remember when my husband thought he got cocaine, he got that and he died? I said, yeah, I do, but I just wasn't, what I'm saying? Cause I talked to her. I was like, what, man, I was like, there's 3 guys, just bam. She goes, yeah, but it makes you get real hot. And,
Oh, that's interesting.
the other kid that was talking to her and telling her about it, he goes, that last time I got real hot and I got sick to my stomach and I walked outside and got sick and I sat down to cool off and I was out.
Like all of them though went outside.
That's what I'm thinking. If they all three did a line, yeah. I mean, if they put it out on the table, like, here, you want to do one? Here's one for you, one for me, one for him. They all 3 did one. Dude went to bed, he would be fucked, but then when he woke up, he would have to know something's up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still not saying that he didn't know.
Yeah, he if he smoked with him, even if he didn't smoke like a really, really heavily laced, he'd have known that did not hit right, that didn't feel right. I am way too blasted for having just.
But not only that, their friend number 5 left. So
Right.
Did he smoke with him and then leave? Did he leave something there and leave? Did he do something with him and leave? I mean, fuck. We don't know.
Did he give them whatever they were, whatever?
Did he call somebody over to get some powder and, so they could party and drink all night? I mean, their wives weren't there. A lot of men do that. A lot of men will fucking do that. They will get some powder and they will party and drink all fucking night long. Do a little powder, drink, party, watch the game, have fun, talk shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then they come home. That's exactly what my friend was talking about with her husband. He's a construction worker. They did the same thing. They used to watch football. They would drink, get drunk as hell, sloppy ass drunk. Thought they were getting, just like he thought he got cocaine. When he went home, he did a line, and by the time he got to the couch to light the blunt, he was already overdosing and dying, and she didn't even know he did the shit. She had no idea that he even did a line to overdose. She thought they were just smoking a blunt. She just got off work. Like, he no sooner she told the cop, he was like, has he been doing this for a long time? She's like, doing what? And he said, when we hit him with the Narcan, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were trying to use it. I guess they hit him like 4 or 5 times and he just still wasn't working.
Wow.
I mean, it was, but it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was already too late.
It was already too late. Yeah.
By the time they got there, it would have been too late.
Yeah. I mean, they tried, but it was already too late.
Crazy Crystal said every time we pick up Suboxone, they give Narcan with it for free at CVS.
Why you pick it up at CVS? I thought that had to come from a clinic. I thought people got.
I don't know. Maybe it's something new.
From clinics. I thought you had to do that. I guess maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I just thought it all came from clinics. I didn't know it came from.
Because Catherine just said
you got Suboxone from Walgreens. I've never heard of that. I guess I'm new. I'm not new, but I'm new to that. Like, I'm new to hearing.
Yeah.
Maybe insurance changed or something, or is it new? Like,
or something, a new thing, because somebody just said, Catherine said, a New Jersey pharmacy gave me Narcan with my pain script. I was impressed. So 2 people said that they got it at their pharmacy. Maybe it's like a new thing that they're doing. You know what I mean? Because of what's going on.
It's not just fentanyl. Trank is killing people too. Now, see, I've heard about that too, but I just didn't know,
Oh, see, Pecan said some states offer it at the pharmacy.
It's probably because you got caps lock on yelling. Or, you know what I'm saying? You got your stuff cap locks on or whatever again. Caps locked. I can't say it right. But anyhow, yes. Okay, Suboxone has no locks on it. Yeah. But I just didn't know they gave it to you at Walgreens. That's all. I mean, I just didn't know that, what is Trank? I don't know. I'm guessing it's probably a drug like heroin and like fentanyl. It's probably a little bit stronger than that. Like horse tranquilizers.
Yeah.
Like they also have like elephant tranquilizers and horse tranquilizers, and fuck them people. Lord, they got that shit in the prisons. Have you guys seen them in the prisons? Like, look, oh my God, it is awful. It is awful.
And street fentanyl and medical fentanyl are 2 completely different things too. I mean, they're the same like base drug, but medical fentanyl will not do to you what street fentanyl does.
This here right here says fentanyl, the $1 million streets strewn with bodies. Look at this. This is crazy as hell to me. Look at this shit. This is just, it's fucking crazy to me. And see how they like to bend over like that? They just be like fucking stuck. Now, see, that's the thing. If they would have done something like that and walked outside and sat down or something in the cold and it was that cold, they very well could have. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they didn't know they were even getting that drug and they didn't know they were even doing that. You know what I mean? That could have really fucked with them.
Exactly. Not knowing if they just went to like smoke a joint.
Right.
And
Especially
then,
if they was drinking already. You know what I'm saying?
right?
If they were already drinking and they were already, had been drinking, then, that's a downer. Plus you do this and that's it. That's all it takes. Like, look at them. You know what I'm saying? You'd be fucking stuck.
This is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking crazy to me. Like,
And someone said it's a horse tranquilizer, so it's like ketamine, only stronger.
Or derivative.
Yeah,
There's a lot of different
probably,
ones.
you know what I mean? Here's this one. Okay. Deputy recalls her near fatal fentanyl exposure.
And that deputy is talking about all this for the first time with the I-Team's Courtney Garish. And this has become one of the biggest risks now for first responders, Courtney.
It has, and we're talking about fentanyl. Even the DEA is calling this drug a significant risk for people who already face so many dangerous situations every day on the job.
That's how I was going to die. It was right there on the side of I-94. Not from a gun, not from a knife, from some weird little powder.
A routine traffic stop turned into a lesson in fentanyl for this Waukesha County Sheriff's deputy and her partner.
It actually almost sideswiped another car.
It was the end of February, around 9 p.m., when Deputy Sarah Krelevitz pulled over a driver for weaving.
He was very jittery. He wouldn't look at me.
She and her partner, Deputy Sam Weinkoff, ended up searching the car. The driver reportedly told them marijuana was in the vehicle and a gun, which ended up being loaded.
Now, see, they lied to her right there and said marijuana. Now, see, it could have been anything. They could have said, here's marijuana, but it could have been laced with some shit. So, you know what I'm saying? He could have went to bed, but they could have smoked a joint and, went outside or walked out or, smoked and then went out. Man.
See, that's weird because I always heard that the horror stories of the don't touch the napkin on your car thing, that's just urban legend, that you can't overdose on fentanyl by touching it.
Yes, you can. They said you can't touch it by absorbing it, but I think you can. I think if you touched it and put it in your fingers, or if it was liquid, yes, you very well could.
Oh, that if your hands are wet, then it dissolves. Oh, that makes sense. And then it becomes a liquid form and would soak in.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Also found drug paraphernalia.
That already makes us think potentially cocaine, heroin.
Fentanyl never crossed their minds, but this lockbox they found in the car would drastically change the course of the traffic stop.
I can kind of tell there's something inside.
The deputies couldn't get it open, so Krelevitz tried to figure out what was in it.
What sound does it make when I tip it? This plume of white smoke just comes out of it.
And then Krelevitz says she started feeling a tickle in her throat. Then a minute later, she was completely out of it.
What was wrong with me? Why can't I function?
The last thing Krelevitz remembers were the lights in her squad.
Laying there watching them get slower and slower and slower and slower.
She wasn't able to talk to us anymore. She wasn't responding to what we were saying.
That's when a trooper at the scene grabbed his Narcan. Krelevitz came to in the ambulance. She later discovered she was exposed to fentanyl.
Just being exposed to it.
Yeah.
She was fucking out, Jack. Her ass was done, son.
Like
Look
that
what
other
Sticky
woman.
said. That's what I was thinking, because she was talking about the tickle in her throat. There was powder in the air, and she inhaled it.
Yeah, she was fucking done, son. That's all it took. A little bit of that in the air. Bam, down. And see, that's the thing. That shit is a killer, man.
Police now carry fentanyl-resistant gloves and masks to better protect them in a search.
You could just move something and potentially inhale it.
Deputy Ben Kajawa says fentanyl has also changed the way he does his job.
Now it's become more, when we search vehicles, more slow, taking your time, making sure that you're not rushing through it.
It only takes 2 to 3 milligrams of fentanyl to cause a severe reaction or even death. That's the same amount as 7 grains of table salt.
You never really know what you're dealing with.
In the last year, the Sheriff's Department also looked at how it handles evidence and added this vent system to reduce the fentanyl exposure risk.
We just take the step further to wear the goggles and the mask just to be safe.
Detective Christina Rarick says anytime she's testing drug evidence, there's the potential for fentanyl.
To always assume that there's something contagious or something that can harm you.
Then a 262 copy en route.
Both Karlovitz and Weinkauf feel some good came out of that traffic stop, not only getting the drugs off the street, but identifying the fentanyl risk that is now all too real. And Deputy Karlovitz told us more law enforcement departments are now looking into carrying Narcan because of what happened to her. She says if she had to wait for the ambulance to get the Narcan, she doesn't believe she would have made it.
Can they figure out a way for someone to dose themselves if they're riding solo?
And that's kind of in the works, what they're doing now. They're looking at ways to make it easier for deputies to give themselves that dose. They carry a tube of Narcan in their squad, but they have to measure it out, and it's given through a nasal mist. So they're looking at a 1-dose option now, the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department, if they have to give it to themselves.
Yeah. Makes sense. Courtney, thank you very much.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's a lot, you know?
I was just reading the chat, and someone, pointed out the very don't pick up money off the ground in the city because of this. And I was, thinking about picking up the cocaine dollar bills in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. My husband fills vending machines in prisons. I really need to get some Narcan for him to keep in his office for when he counts that money. I really need to do that, like today. Because now
those gloves too, those like special gloves that they were showing,
Oh, he won't wear them. He licks his fingers. He licks his fingers when he's counting the money.
Oh,
That's the thing that drives me nuts. Oh, I hate it. But that's for me to deal with. Continue.
I bet he's got a killer immune system.
He does. He really does. He doesn't get sick.
Yeah, I'm serious. I bet he fucking does, because that's a lot of goddamn germs when you lick your fucking finger when you're counting money. And that's why they got that little cute shit, sitting there next to at the banks and shit, so they can rub their finger on it and,
Yep. He licks his thumb when he separates them out to put them in the counting machine. I don't know why he does it.
Did you see what Pecan just said? That one of the guys that died's father hired an attorney. Let me look and see what she wrote exactly. One of the men's fathers has hired an attorney, so that's interesting. Where'd you see that, Pecan?
Yeah, look, here's one right here. It says this was 10 months ago. 4 people are treated for fentanyl overdose on the same street at the same time. They all fucked with the same shit. Look at this.
Overdosing from fentanyl in the same streets at the same time. Ambulance workers try frantically to perform CPR. Fentanyl is an incredibly strong drug that's been linked to a spike in deaths across the US. Shocking scenes as 4 people are treated for overdosing from fentanyl in the same streets at the same time.
That means they were using the same dope. You know what I'm saying? Or the same dope man. Somebody, they had to have had the same shit. Because, you know what I'm saying? They all 4 were out at the same time.
At the same time.
Yep. Which tells me they were all fucking doing the same shit, or they were fucking with the same dealer.
I don't understand the the whole mind process of businessmen in quotation marks who kill their customer base. Like, what's the point? Then you have no customers. What's the point? What's the joy in killing people? What are you getting out of this?
Well, and
I've
that's the
heard
thing
that.
too. Is, that's the thing is that when I don't understand, why would you want to kill off your clientele? That doesn't make no sense to me. I don't know. I just don't. It really just does not make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it
But
does
there's
make it
been
more
other people.
addictive.
Well, listen, there's people that I know that are drug addicts that do dope that have said when they hear somebody talk about overdosing, they will seek out that drug dealer because they want that dope. They want that the shit that makes, you know what I'm saying? They want that. Now I'm like, why? Why would you want that? I guess I don't understand it because I've not, you know what I'm saying? I've never been addicted to that. I don't understand the addiction to it, to want to go get dope that you just watched somebody else overdose on, but they wanted it because it was good shit. You know what I mean? Like that's like I said, I can't understand that mindset.
Chasing the high, and if they think they're resistant to what they've got, they want the next best thing, which is
right. And that's pretty much what it's like. Like they just,
dude, take a tolerance break, then you'll be able to smoke yours fine again.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, them drugs are so hard that you can't take a break from heroin. You can't just stop.
That's
The
true. That's
withdrawal is a
true.
fucking killer. You know what I mean? That's why, and that's the biggest thing that a lot of drug addicts will tell you, especially heroin addicts. They will tell you they will not stop. One of the main reasons they won't stop is because that withdrawal is so fucking hard. It is so harsh and it hurts so much. They don't stop because of that.
I mean, alcohol is bad enough. You detox off 30 years of booze and you're in the DTs.
Oh, fuck. Sometimes that's even worse than drugs. I mean, alcohol, sometimes that's even worse than hard drugs. And it's horrible. The withdrawals are incredibly awful. I don't wish that on anybody. It's horrible. It's fucking horrific to watch.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, so here's the house here, and this is what I'm saying right here. Like I say, look, you see out the front windows, you can see there's the kitchen, and then the window to the kitchen to go get something to drink. If he's got an empty wine glass, he has to go down to get something to drink, wash his hands, whatever. Here's the big bay windows that are open right through the kitchen there. You can see right through there, but even here, there's the front door. So he walks him to the front door, supposedly. There's the front door. There is no driveway out in front of his house or on the side, so they had to have parked in the road.
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss their vehicles. This is, like the dining room or whatever.
Right.
So here's the kitchen, here's the patio doors, and there's a fucking window right there. So you see the refrigerator right there?
Yep.
So if you look directly across from the refrigerator, there's a sink there, and then there's a window out. If you look through these patio doors, you see that window? That window, there's a sink there. Look, right there. See it? There's a sink.
Yep.
Bam.
Looking out on the back porch where she saw the body from the basement.
Right. Now, see, I can't find the basement window that she saw the body from. I haven't found it yet. And see, I don't think it's because I don't think it's the basement window. I think it was the regular window because the house is like a 2-story, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like maybe a split level.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was like one of these basement windows. This basement window right here, I didn't see any on the back side of the house with the yard. So I'm thinking maybe she's seen out the other window because see, there's no windows out the backyard, but there is windows right here where the deck's at. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the doggy door. That's the kitchen window. Those are the patio doors.
Mm-hmm.
These windows right here, though, these look
That's
like
the living room.
But yeah, like the living room part, I'm guessing that probably was where she's seen him at. So I don't see any basement windows right here where the bodies would be at that she would see them. You know what I'm saying?
The screen is out. I did notice in one of the news reports, the screen was out of the front.
Yeah,
where she had probably broke in.
Right, that's in the front where she went in. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a split level on the right, and then just a single story on the left there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Sorry.
I was trying to find the basement window that she would have seen him out of, but I don't see, there's no basement window there. So I'm thinking it's probably the split level.
Yeah, that big picture window in the living room.
Yeah.
In which case, she could have seen all three of them if they were all laying right there close together.
Well, they said the one was on the back patio and the other two were in the yard.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure, you know, that to go over there thinking your husband's, you know, creeping with a lady and find him dead on the back patio is a whole fucking different ball game. Like that probably really, really caused a lot of, you know.
I'm almost kind of waiting for him to say the reason he didn't answer the one guy's wife is because, oh, well, I was covering for him. Maybe he left here to go to his girlfriend's house and I didn't know. And if that was it, okay, he obviously didn't go to the girlfriend's house. He was dead in your backyard. So say that now.
Right. Well, yeah, for him to not come out during that's the thing. So she goes in. Okay, so she goes in the front window. Here's the garage. There's the locks to where you can come out. You know what I mean? Like they can get out of the fence. So that's what I'm saying. Like there could have, if they wanted out, they could have gotten out. Now she goes in this front window or so. This is the top part here where let's see here. Let's go back. So one guy is out here, and then the other two are found out further in the yard. I thought about this window here, but that's the garage door. So unless that's the part where the fence is at, where, you know what I'm saying? Like the fence is over here on the left. I don't know.
The garage is to the side. So those windows are scroll back. The garage is right there. Go down. Nope, go down. Right to that one right there. The garage are the windows to the front and the living room are the windows to the back by the door. Because the garage is actually the side of the house. It goes under the split level.
Okay, underneath of it.
Yep. Yep, I noticed that the garage was to the side instead of the front.
Yeah, and she says she goes in the basement, but this window right here, where is that window? You see that window right there? Where is that window?
I think that's in the front.
That's what I can't figure out where that little window's at right there. And I didn't see it outside on the outside of the house, but no, see, this is the bottom part where the door is at. There's another door there. So I guess there's a front door and then there's this door.
Okay, so that's the back door, and this is the living room. All right, so that window's not in the garage.
Yeah, because this one right here is the two big windows here. So this must be the front.
That's the fireplace.
Yeah, but I'm saying these two windows right here in the front door. Look. Let's go back up. Those two windows there in the front door, right there. See them?
Mm-hmm. Still looking. I'm looking along the bottom for a basement window, and I don't see one. There's the window. There's the window that's by the front door. Because it's like a little sunroom built off to the left of the front door. It's a beautiful house. Do they have a floor plan or just photos?
Just photos that I'm aware of. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, Cassie, that's what I was thinking too. It's a beautiful, beautiful house. Window well by the back porch. You see it as you go down the stairs. Police confirmed she was in the basement. Oh, Kimber, it would be fantastic if there's cameras outside because the police could tell us exactly what happened. If there's cameras, because they'll be able to watch it. I apologize if you're hearing popping. I'm on the back porch and there's a bunch of old soda bottles out here and they've been frozen, so they all sucked in, and now that it's getting warmer, they're all popping back out again. But I don't feel like digging through the trash to open them up.
I'm gonna go look up this shit called Trank. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, this shit says, what is Trank? Okay. What is Trank? The zombie drug spreading across America. This was 6 months ago.
What is Trank? Trank, also known as xylazine, is a drug used to sedate horses and other large mammals. Drug users often mix it with fentanyl, a powerful opioid, for a longer-lasting high. Xylazine is not meant for human consumption, but it's rising in popularity because it is often cheap and easy to acquire. The combination of xylazine and fentanyl reportedly gives users a trance-like state that sometimes leads to blackouts and can cause breathing and heart rate to drop. Wounds at injection sites can lead to infections and open sores that are sometimes so severe they require amputations. Naloxone, a life-saving drug used to reverse opioid overdoses, does not work against xylazine because it is not an opioid. According to the CDC, fatal overdoses involving xylazine rose 276% from January 2019.
So, Narcan doesn't even fucking work on this shit. Because it's not a fucking opiate.
To June 2020.
Wow.
On April 12, the Biden administration declared the drug mix an emerging threat to the United States. What is Trank? Trank, also known.
No, that's fucking wild.
Why would you even want? I mean, you're going to lose limbs. You're going to die. Thought we avoided doing things that made parts of your body. I mean, syphilis. We beat syphilis because it made parts of your body fall off, right? It's a bad thing.
Reported death from the highly addictive so-called zombie drug has been confirmed in Europe as it continues to spread in American cities. It's known as Trank. It's the animal tranquilizer xylazine. It can cause death or parts of the body to rot, and it has U.S. officials on alert. In cities like Philly and New York, Trank has been reported in as much as 90% of the street drug supply. Mary Murphy from our New York affiliate has more.
During busy travel, we saw the telltale nodding out associated with the horse tranquilizer known as Trank near the 8th Avenue exit at Penn Station. And we met a man named James asking for money near the Amtrak waiting area. Have you used Trank? Yeah. You have? Mm-hmm. We reported back in February that Trank, or xylazine, was already here in New York City. And that was based on fatal overdose rates from recent years, which showed that the drug was in 19 to 20% of the street supply. The situation is still far worse in Philadelphia. where IV drug users injecting fentanyl mixed with tranq live under the Kensington Avenue train and battle a double addiction, along with dangerous sores that can lead to amputation.
Both drugs suppress the respiratory function.
Now we're learning from the Journal of Forensic and Legal Medicine that the first drug-related death associated with xylazine use has been discovered in Europe, in Solihull, England. The report said a 43-year-old man died with xylazine in his system, along with heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine. The report noted the presence of xylazine in the illicit drug supply in Europe is cause for concern. In the U.S., the Drug Enforcement Administration has been sounding alarm bells about tranq from East Coast to West Coast. In the South, xylazine-related deaths exploded more than 1,100% between 2020 and 2021.
That shit's crazy.
That's terrifying. And
This
see,
is on
Autumn,
News Nation 5 months ago.
Autumn was talking about how people usually, they did it to themselves, and I'm not that kind of person. My dad was a recovering addict, so I am absolutely the last person to stand in judgment over any addict, and I know that I absolutely have those tendencies in myself. I just think that we could absolutely find something safer, and we need to find something safer. We don't need, just like the needle exchanges that everybody thought was so horrible, it's just going to make people addicts more in the 80s. That saved lives. That all but removed IV drug users from the AIDS epidemic. Yep. That's a good thing. I think we need to be looking for ways to do that here. Find an alternative. For heroin, we've got methadone now. There's
all
an
right,
alternative.
so hold on. Here's this. The girls asked me to play this real fast. Let's see. I'm gonna pop this on real quick.
A few things in the Kansas City case. So, reports state that April, who is Clayton's fiance, had broken through a basement window and then saw the first body on the porch. I think a lot of people, including myself, just kind of assumed that she had gone in through the back because this window right here, even though the screen is out, would appear to be on the main floor. But come to find out, she had tried to walk around to the back, but couldn't open the fence. So this right here in front is, in fact, the window that she broke in. Talked to some people who said that this goes down to the basement. So that's why she didn't initially see the body. She went downstairs and then she looked out a window and happened to see it. I also want it to be known that as soon as she got in through that window, she was hollering out Jordan's name, making her presence known. But there was no response from him, even though he was there at the house. Now, also regarding April, I don't know why, but I've seen a lot of comments from people asking, why didn't she go over there sooner? So I spoke with some friends of these guys who said that they were very responsible. So if they had been drinking and were intoxicated or whatever, sometimes they would stay over at each other's houses. Hey, I give them credit for that. So the fact that he didn't go home that Sunday evening, it wasn't too alarming. But then obviously not being able to get a hold of him, then him not coming home again on Monday evening, you start to think, what the hell's going on? And then people are wondering, well, he didn't show up for work the next day, so wouldn't calls have been made at that point? And in the GoFundMe that's set up for April, it states that he worked as a subcontractor for a construction company, and being this time of the year, work was really slow. And speaking of GoFundMes, there's one set up for Ricky Johnson's funeral expenses. You guys, I've seen so many comments of speculation with these guys like, oh, well, they must have been into this and they must have been into that. They seemed like good dudes, like a good circle of friends. They liked football. Ricky had 3 daughters. Clayton was about to get married. Here's the GoFundMe for David. And speaking of, Dave was literally the flower girl at one of his friends' weddings. Look, there's Ricky sitting there. So if you're going to follow this case and leave a comment, please have a little compassion for the friends and family of these 3 dudes because they're going through so much. I mean, something very clearly happened to these guys. I don't believe for one second it was anything that they did to themselves and then, they just froze to death as a result of it. Absolutely not. Somebody did something.
I tend to agree with her, even if it was the result of something that they voluntarily did. I don't think they did this on purpose.
Right.
Smoking a blunt shouldn't end up with you dead in your friend's backyard.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm kind of curious to see what friend number 5 has to say.
Yeah, me too. But I do think that the police are keeping his. I mean, they can't keep his identity secret from their families and friends because they're gonna know who he is. So
I didn't know it was a secret. He's on my thumbnail.
is he?
That same picture is on my thumbnail. I didn't know that it was supposed to be a secret. I didn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, the fifth guy. Because they had his face blurred out in that picture of him. At least I'm assuming that's whose face is blurred out on that picture. Yeah, Autumn. It's weird. I mean, it's very weird. Number 5 is alive. Literally.
Hold on. Janice said, does she think recreational drug users are never good dudes? I mean, dudes that just, smoke a little weed or have a beer here and there. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like recreational. Using hardcore drugs is not recreational.
Yeah, I think she was just saying they're not, going out, getting trashed, just sleeping all day, not working.
Right.
To the point that they weren't concerned that they didn't come home that night if they had too much to drink. They're just sleeping over and we'll see them in the morning.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And the little window, look, the window was really hard to find. We couldn't find it. I found it. Well, actually,
Is it behind the screen?
What?
Is it behind the screen?
No, it's underneath of that little window. Here. We're going to go right back to it real quick. I'm going to show it to you. It was just shown to me. See, look, there's a little hole. You see that little hole right there?
Oh!
It's under the kitchen window. Look at it right there. It's real
Okay.
little. Let me go back. I'm going to see if we can see it out here. It's real small, but you can see the little, like the piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sent me a little thing with a little red arrow towards it because it's real small. You see the window house, like it's real small like that.
It's also dug down into the ground.
Yes. It's right. Okay, hold on. That picture. Can't see it. Look under there, under the kitchen window. It's there.
Okay. Okay, so she could have seen the back deck from the basement.
Well, yeah, it would have been right there, right outside. You know what I'm saying? There's that, like the window is right there. See? Under the window by the little patio doors or whatever.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the window she climbed through is the garage.
Yeah. The window she climbed through is the front. It's just the screen's off of it.
Yep. And that's the garage, see? Because there's the driveway.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah. See, I was going to say the one she heard the screen's off of it because it's right there. Yep. I wish I could zoom in on these stinkers. Yeah, because it's right there. There's like a little, I don't know if you can see my little mouse pointing there. But
yeah,
right
I do. And that makes a lot of sense. And then it's either you got the little cover over the top of it to keep the dirt and leaves from falling down there.
Yeah. Yep. So she would have looked out right there and seen him right on the back deck, right by the back door. I don't know. Like I said, I still can't get past, that no foul play happened. You know what I mean?
Well, they did say that the toxicology results may change that. They said no obvious signs of foul play.
Right.
So that means they weren't shot, stabbed. There's no bleeding. They weren't beaten.
Right.
Nothing like that. So sad.
It is, and I feel bad because he was, there was one was gonna get married, one had 3 little girls, the other one had family, and he had kids too. It's sad. It's all sad. I mean, they went to go to a game, and look what happened. They went to a
Right.
simple football game with buddies and never came home. I mean, that's any woman that's with your husband, your man, your kids, your baby daddy, whatever.
Right.
Imagine them saying, "Hey, baby, I'm gonna go to the football game at my buddy's house for a couple hours. I'll be back. I love you." 3 days later, you don't hear shit from him, and you go over to the house, kicking the door in, thinking you're gonna find him over there with another bitch, and you find him dead on the back patio and then the guy comes out with a fucking wine glass. I'd probably want to beat the hell out of dude.
Oh God, no. If I was her, I don't think I would have
I'm
waited
not
for
sure
the
how
cops.
she
I would have
composed
been
herself.
tearing that house apart looking for him to beat the crap out of him before they got there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure how she kept her composure, but then again, she was probably in fucking shock.
That's true.
I'm sure that's definitely not what she went over there thinking she was going to find at all.
No. How could it? I mean, that would never even occur to you.
Yeah, no, that's not even something that's not something I would ever think about was happening or was going on. You know what I'm saying? No. Be the last thing on my mind.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I appreciate you coming up here, love. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. We've been on here about 2.5 hours, but I am going to come live later because we have we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. So,
all righty. I'm going to go ahead and hop down though, and then leave you to it.
All right, chicky.
All right. Love you.
I love you, girl. Yes, you guys, it's been sad. It's a really sad case, and I guess we're just gonna have to kind of go with the flow and see what happens, see what they come up with, what the toxology screen comes up with. At this point, I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some suspect shit going on. I don't know what, but can't put my finger on it, but something's up. Something's going on. I don't know. I don't think that this Jordan necessarily murdered them, but I feel like he knows more than what he's saying. That's for sure. And it's very sketchy to me, but I mean, only time will tell, right? Only time will tell. But anyhow, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you guys for going over this stuff with me. Thank you, Chronicles, for putting this together. It was very, very informative. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Gone Girl, thank you for gifting memberships. I appreciate that. We will be live later. Thumb Thug, new member. Thank you, love. I knew you just got your year or 2 crown or something in your card. I know that sucks. Dang it. Bowie Girl, I live in KC. This case is crazy. Yes, it is very crazy. There was actually a case that's really close to me. Joliet, there was 8 or 9 people found dead. And the guy that did it actually was, they went to arrest him and he unalived himself. So it was a very, very sad, very, very sad, tragic ending to somebody with some serious mental health issues. Anyways, you guys have a good day. I'll catch you later on the flip side. We'll be live later tonight about some other stuff and all the other things that are going on and stuff. So also, I'm going to, touch base about this live that Share and Justice for All did. Anyhow, I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Ain't got to go home, baby, but you can't stay here.